Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am excited to be back to my YouTube channel. I took most of the summer off to enjoy some time with my family, but my daughter is on a non-traditional school schedule. So even though it is July, she is already back in school and she's been back in school. She just started kindergarten. And so while we kind of get into our groove and kind of get our bearings with this, I really want to take cooking out of the equation. So I am working on filling up my freezer with some easy and delicious and also healthy freezer meals. First up, I'm making a chicken, gnocchi, and veggie sheet pan meal. If you've watched any of my freezer meal videos before, for a while now, I've been doing a lot of Crock-Pot and Instant Pot freezer meals, and I am still doing some of those right now, but I kind of get tired of that kind of food after a while, so I'm trying to switch things up. I am cubing up some chicken breast just to get things started, and while I'm doing that on the stove, I also have some gnocchi cooking. So anytime you're making a sheet pan meal, it's really helpful if you can chop up the chicken in bite-sized pieces, so that way it doesn't take too long to cook, because usually you'll have things like gnocchi or veggies mixed in with it. And if the chicken takes too long to cook, then the veggies and the gnocchi can overcook. So I'm trying to cut these on the smaller side. Now, one mistake I made here is I have other recipes that I'm making for freezer meals today that require cube chicken, and I didn't cut that chicken up at the same time. So I'd recommend just cutting all that chicken up at once, so that way you don't have to worry about washing your cutting board over and over and over again. Now with the gnocchi, I am cooking this first, even though most of the time when I make freezer meals, I use all raw ingredients, but that's because the gnocchi needs to be cooked, because once it's on the sheet pan, obviously it can't boil. So I'm just parboiling that gnocchi and letting it cool before I add it to the freezer meal bag. And just to clarify, if you're using refrigerated gnocchi, you don't need to cook it first, but if you're using a dry or shelf-stable gnocchi, you should cook it until it floats and then let it cool completely before putting it in your freezer meal bag. I am chopping up some red onion. Really, any type of onion will work. I just had an extra red onion on hand. Anytime I'm chopping fresh veggies for a freezer meal or doing meal prep, I usually do a pretty rough chop so they're in bigger pieces, so that way it just doesn't take quite so long, but also it cooks a little bit better on the sheet pan meal. Now for freezer meals, my go-to is almost always frozen vegetables, and we're in the middle of this crazy parasitic stomach thing, so I'm just sticking with frozen vegetables when I can, but it also just makes this big batch prepping a lot easier. For this recipe, I'm using frozen Brussels and broccoli, but you could use any type of vegetable you want. But for sheet pan meals, I always recommend using vegetables that take a similar amount of time to cook. You don't want one to cook faster than the other. Then all this goes in the bag. I added a little bit of avocado oil and Italian seasoning, and I am bagging them up. Theoretically, this can be a freezer to table freezer meal where you just throw it frozen on a sheet pan and bake it until it's done. But the best route for this would be to thaw it for 24 hours, and once it's completely thaw, then cook it on your sheet pan meal. But either way, it will work just fine. You and your family will be fed. Even though in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I'm getting a little tired of freezer to crock pot meals, they really are one of the easiest and best ways to get dinner on the table if you haven't planned ahead at all. This is a sweet potato chicken curry recipe that cooks perfectly from frozen. So to make this, first what I'm doing is just putting in 2 chicken breasts per bag. I'm not even worrying about cubing them up. And then I'm adding in a bunch of frozen vegetables, frozen onions, frozen green beans, frozen carrots, and frozen sweet potatoes. Then I'm adding in some spices. You can really use whatever you want here. I really wanted to add more red curry paste, but I only had a little bit left. So I added in 1 spoonful of red curry paste per bag, some smoked paprika, cumin, some garlic powder. Really, you can add any spices you want. Then I'm adding in some chicken broth. I'm not putting in so much to make this a soup, but I am putting enough in there so it can cook in the crock pot without burning on the bottom. And then I'm simply just mixing this up right in the bag. I know some recipes sometimes call for mixing all the things together and then transferring it into a bag. I skip that step because if I'm batch prepping, I just want this to be quick and efficient. Now, this recipe, once it's cooked, it does need some coconut milk, and I think even a little peanut butter would be good in there. But that's not great for while it's cooking. So anytime I have a recipe like this that has ingredients that go in after, I jot that down on the bag so that way I don't forget, or if my husband pulls it out to cook, he knows that more food or more ingredients need to go in there once it's finished cooking. I'll cook this on high for about 3 to 4 hours from frozen, and then I like to serve these sorts of dishes with some brown rice or quinoa, which I'm actually batch prepping and freezing later in this video, so I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. Next up, I am making a chicken shawarma sheet pan meal for the freezer. You can actually get this recipe over on my blog at moonandmagnolia.com. This is one of our current family favorites because it's delicious and it's also very healthy too. So to make this, I am using fresh veggies this time because I like the way this turns out with fresh vegetables. So I'm chopping up an onion for each bag, 1 bell pepper for each bag. You can use any color bell pepper, but the sweeter the bell pepper, the better I think it tastes. So I would stick with like an orange, yellow, or red if possible. And then about 2 carrots per bag. But of course, you can adjust that as you prefer. And then I am again cubing up some chicken. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Really, if you can do all of your similar types of meal prep at one time, it just works out a little bit better. But it didn't happen. Everything's fine. So I'm just cubing up the chicken now. This is a really easy recipe to double. If you're already chopping up all of this stuff, I recommend just chopping up more. When I make this most of the time, I will double the recipe that you find on my blog so that way we have lots of leftovers. But in this case, I'm just splitting it up into 2 freezer meal bags. This recipe also calls for chickpeas. I usually prefer to make my own chickpeas in the Instant Pot, but I didn't have any dried chickpeas, but I did have a couple of cans of chickpeas and that works just fine. Just make sure you drain and rinse them. I'm throwing those chickpeas right into the bag and then I'm adding all of the spices. This recipe calls for smoked paprika, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and cinnamon. And now I'm really heavy-handed with these spices because I like it almost blackened. Over on my blog at moonandmagnolia.com, I have a standard list of measurements for this recipe, but most of the time I don't measure anyway. I know some folks, when they watch my YouTube videos, don't love that. They want the exact measurements. That's not really the way I cook, but I do have the measurements over on my blog. But here, I'm just dumping them in there and calling it a day. And I almost forgot, I'm also putting avocado oil in the bag. Anytime I'm roasting food or if I'm making a sheet pan meal, I really prefer avocado over olive oil. I know most recipes call for olive oil, but olive oil has a flavor that sometimes doesn't pair nicely with what I'm making. And it also has a lower smoke point. Avocado oil, it's neutral. It has a high smoke point, and I just think it works a little bit better. This is another freezer meal that can be freezer to table where you cook it from frozen. But again, I would recommend thawing it if you have the time to do so. Sometimes I think that thawing it allows those spices to sort of redistribute and it cooks a little bit better that way. But as always, just do the best you can. I am a soup all year kind of person, but I do like soups to have a little bit of a lighter flavor this time of year. And I am making a lemon dill chicken soup, and this is delicious. So I really like to make soups as freezer meals because they're perfect for the crock pot. You can put them straight from the freezer right into the crock pot. They can cook all day. There's really like no limit to how long they can cook, and they turn out great. So for this recipe, I'm throwing some chicken breast in the bags, and I'm also adding some frozen onions, frozen carrots, and frozen celery. This is a lemon dill soup, so I am using dried dill and bottled lemon juice. You could use fresh dill, you could use fresh lemon. I didn't have either one on hand. I'm trying to keep things really simple and use what I have, and so that is what's going in the bags. Then I'm adding in about a box of chicken broth or so into each bag. Whenever I'm making soups, though, of course, this can be a little messy, so I like to use this bowl to support the bag with the broth, so that way it doesn't collapse and spill all over the place. Most of my freezer meals I freeze flat to save space, and that way I can easily stack them. But for anything that I know is going into the crock pot or even the Instant Pot, I like to freeze them upright in this shape so that way they can fit right into my crock pot insert or even into my Instant Pot. This soup is excellent with pasta, rice, maybe even some couscous in it that you can add in after cooking. And what makes that really easy is if you have that grain or that pasta ready to go without having to cook it. So for example, here I am making a giant batch of brown rice that I am freezing. And then once that soup is cooked, I can just take some of this pre-frozen cooked brown rice and throw it right in there. I'm also making a huge batch of quinoa to bag and freeze, but I want to go back to that brown rice for a second. So over on my blog at moonandmagnolia.com, I have a recipe for Instant Pot freezer rice, and those instructions are for white rice. To make freezer brown rice, it is the exact same process. The only difference is you use 1 cup of rice to 1¼ cups of water and you cook it for 20 minutes. But other than that, the entire process is the same. For the frozen quinoa, it is basically just following the directions on the package. I made a giant pot of quinoa here. This quinoa has been sitting in my pantry for a million years. It's because it's not cooked, it's not ready to use. So by cooking it, bagging it, and freezing it, now it's out of my pantry, but also it's just ready to go and so much easier to use. For all of these grains and for all freezer meals, make sure everything cools all the way to room temperature before you bag it and freeze it. But this is also really important for the rice and quinoa because it helps it dry just a little bit. So that way, when you throw it back into your soups or you use it for a grain bowl and you add other ingredients on top of it, it doesn't get mushy. I've found that the easiest way to get the rice and quinoa to cool and slightly dry is to just put it out on a parchment lined sheet and just let it sit out for a while. I let it sit out until it's cool and then usually like an hour or two more than that. And to bag it up, I don't really measure how much I put in each bag, but I do fill up a sandwich bag about most of the way. And for most recipes, that is enough for like a pot of soup, or if you want to have grain bowls for your family, that's usually enough. If it's not enough, it's really easy to just pull out another bag and use more. When I make this, if I want to just have quinoa or rice as a side, what I'd like to do is put the frozen grain in a bowl with about a tablespoon or two of water, and then I just put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes or so, or until it's cooked. And I found that when I do that, it's the perfect texture. The grains can feel a little sticky when they come out of the Instant Pot, and when you bag them, they do feel a little sticky, but that stickiness does go away once you reheat it. So just keep that in mind once you're bagging it. If you feel like it's too sticky, don't worry. It does turn out perfect once you reheat it. But as we are headed back into the school year, these freezer meals are going to make life so much easier. I hope you have had and are having a wonderful summer, and I will see you again next time.